Figured to get this soundbite out of the way before it gets too late. It is my first time hunting in the 2025-26 season. We are at my uncle's land, which is also where I grew up hunting. So it feels appropriate to start the season off with a soundbite. We are hunting on an edge of farmland. We are on a transitional piece between elevated farmland that has corn planted on it. It's ready to be harvested. And then there's about a 50 to 80 foot wide transitional between hardwoods down to marsh grass. There's another probably 80 yards or more of this marsh swamp grass that some years it's standing water, some years it's not. This year it's not, and it's become a really good bedding area. And we were putting up cameras before the season started and found a lot of activity, and we've had some awesome does and bucks come cruising through there, so we're playing off of one of those trails. But hanging tight until the evening when hopefully they kind of show back up. That being said, this is kind of the corner. That way is my childhood stand, which is also I kind of aged out as I was starting my businesses, and I've mentioned this on the podcast numerous times, but I never thought a love of hunting, but I kind of just filled my life up with other things, and there, in that transition, I kind of lost my seat with the family, and which probably was a good thing because my aging grandfather, who's no longer with us, he passed away this past year, but he was able to sit in that stand as it's closer to where we can park our cars and walk in, as the rest of the family land is much further into the cedar swamp. So he was able to turkey hunt and deer hunt there and enjoy the last couple of years hunting, doing that. But they always called it Jared's stand, and since I've gotten back into hunting and I've had permission to come back and hunt this corner of my uncle's property, which I absolutely love just because of the diversity in food and water and bedding and elevation and you name it. Even though it's not the biggest part of the property, it's usually sees good transitional activity. But I've picked up saddle hunting and mobile hunting in general. So shout out to Martin and a handful of other people who've gotten me into it, and I absolutely love it. Sure, it has its challenges, but compared to hunting with a climber, hunting on the ground, having princess blinds, you name it, nothing wrong with any of that stuff, but this gives you the most flexibility and comfort by far to pretty much hunt any tree. So we are about 10 to 12 feet off the hedgerow that separates the farm field, and there's a couple of openings here and there, and we're setting off one of those. We've got a main highway that runs just down this way about 20-30 yards north and south, and then there's a couple angled pieces that cut from the bedding area into the corn, so we're hoping we can maybe get some deer crossing through here later. As the temperature drops later into the rut and beyond, I move in closer to the bedding area or even further into the swamp, where the actual hunting blind is. Last year when I got my doe during gun season, it was like the third day of hanging in a tree, and it was negative 10 degrees without the wind chill, and I was like, I'm going to sit in the blind, and that's when I spooked up 2 doe, and I had my first time I'd ever hunted with a rifle too. When I last stopped hunting in Wisconsin, it was still a shotgun zone, so not to date myself, but anyway, my 300 Blackout AR dropped the doe of an about 80-yard shot with a red dot scope on it. Made pretty quick work of that, so it was kind of bittersweet, although my grandfather at the time was with us but could no longer hunt. And then that was my first year hunting, going back to my childhood blind, and that was the first deer I had shot since getting back into hunting, which was year 3 or 4. And out of those 4 years was bow hunting. That was the first time using a gun, and then got a doe out of that stand. So I couldn't be more happy with myself. Definitely the motivation and energy and experience and kind of just rebuilding everything back up, confidence, knowledge, memory building. I was able to share that with my grandfather before he passed. His mind was sharp, so that was a core memory I'll never forget. And then more importantly, just, my uncle and his sons being, you know, willing enough to kind of reach out to me and extend the offer to come back and help out and be a part of this. Like, they'll never not know how much that means to me, no matter how many times I try to tell it to them. At some point, they're just going to tell me to shut up. But I think the message to people like myself where you don't own land, you find other ways to chip in, and you just never stop saying it, because these things, as I've learned, can be taken away from you instantly, and it's really hard to get it back. I've spent a lot of time and energy trying to find other pieces of land to hunt, and there's always caveats to it. There's always tricks and hurdles to these things. So this is not that far away, collectively speaking, as far as hunting land goes, especially for the quality of the land. My uncle does a great job taking care of his property, and then I still get moments to bond with family, which is very important to me. If it isn't family, then it needs to be friends. It's very rare that I'm ever truly solo hunting in some capacity. Sure, today I'm in a tree by myself, but my uncle's house is not too far from the property, and I've got friends nearby, and even if they're not here to help me find it, break it down, all that stuff, I can do it all by myself. But I know they're going to be there to help celebrate the wins, which is also very important. As a business owner, you work hard, play hard, and you need to celebrate those victories and those learning and growth moments. So I'm just feeling super, super jazzed. It's a gorgeous day out, probably a little too windy, a little too warm, but I don't care. This is even the concept of hunting early season bow is so new to me, because I didn't grow up bow hunting, and even most of my gear was all cold season gear. So this will never not be special and important to me, and I can't thank anyone enough who's helped motivate me to get me back into it. I already mentioned Martin. We do the podcast together, but Matt Hornis, who we do Rugged Outdoors with, and the e-bikes and other outdoor gear, he's been phenomenal at sharing information and helped me get my hands on stuff. Matt Lindorfer was the first, and probably next most thanks needs to go to him. He's the one who knew I had a bow and just wouldn't let me give up or kind of put it back in the closet, if you will. So he bought land that he's building a house on that we've let me hunt on for years. It's closer to home, and always willing to go. He's the gentleman who bought the boat that we did the Oconomowoc River kind of hunting public adventure, where we took a boat up a river to find some back public land that wasn't pushed heavy, and just, again, memories that we could never be taken away from us that I cherish. So anyway, we things we've upgraded to it this year. I'm wearing RLVNT Sunglasses. There's a cool Pat Kelmerton, who is a new business partner with PATTRIE Productions. He works for them. I don't have any deal with them yet, but I have helped them with their fishing lure company, Mad Scientist Tackle, and I helped them with some content for iCast. But Pat's helped us get our hands on some sunglasses, so I have the concealment lenses on with a camo frame, and these are helping take the edge off of some of the bright light that's coming through yet. I'll probably take them off here in a bit as the sun continues to set, but it's making the view and everything else quite enjoyable to look through the trees and whatnot, kind of taking down some of the hot spots. I'm wearing my new Sitka OptiFade cover just because it's a cedar swamp and early season, so there's a lot of green. But even when all the leaves die and everything browns out, being in a cedar swamp, there's still a lot of green. So I still rock Osseo gear. It's probably my next favorite. Being a mobile hunter, being close to tree trunks, it's very easy to go with Osseo, not only for their performance, they're fantastic gear, but their unique color combo kind of gets things closer to more of what I consider to be bark, as their inspiration is owl feathers, I believe, like raptor birds, and so you blend in with the trees a little bit more than the leaves. So I'm choosing to go leaves today with the Sitka OptiFade. I also have a brand new bow. Martin and I help River Archery down by my house, and we bartered our services to help them with their demo days for new bows. So I have a Virtue Bowtech bow, which is one of the lightest production bows on the market. Magnesium riser, titanium hardware. I absolutely love it, and love Bowtech. Love this bow specifically. A little bit smaller riser, so a little easier to get up in the tree. Shoots faster, more power behind it, but just as easy to manage as my Prodigy that I had, which also was a Matt Hornus bow that I bought from him. So this is being recorded on a DJI Osmo Pocket 3, which has become one of my new favorite little mobile camera setups versus bringing big gear. I still have the Eberlestock. I still have my CRUZR Saddle, which is a Martin oldie. I have the Hunt Beast arm. All my ropes are the same. The other new thing is an upgrade. It's the Latitude profile platform, but I had the one last year. I upgraded to the little bit larger size, and then I got the one that has the new toe kick on it because I did not feel safe on the original one when you were trying to seat it by giving it the toe kick on the platform so the teeth could bite into some of these harder trees on this edge. It could never felt safe that I wouldn't slip off when trying to seat that platform. So when they put the extra wings on that, you can increase the width that your boot can fit on this to properly seat it. It's been fantastic, and for the price and the weight and how flat it gets, and now a little bit extra room for your shoes, and being able to seat this thing. And I don't know if they made the teeth sharper too, because it chewed into this tree. I'll have to get a photo of it. Big fan of it. Makes me feel safe because I am the guy who will lean my whole body into the side of this platform to get a crazy shot. So not having any fear that that's going to kick out is very important to me, as it is to most saddle hunters. So other than that, we're rocking. I still have my Baku Mule e-bike, which I love, but really jonesing to get my hands on the new rugged outdoor B2 bike that Matt put together. Dude, it's more than double the battery, more than double the torque. The motor is twice as large. The better suspension on it. It's a little bit smoother of a ride a bike. It has a smart clutch system, so you don't have to worry about chain skipping or getting caught in the grass. You hit hills or pedal faster, it auto shifts for you, which is nice when you have a gun or a bow and all this gear on your back or pulling out a deer, because it's just one less thing you have to manage and think about as you go over rough terrain. So I am super jazzed to get my hands on one of those. I think he's going to let us take some of them out to Devil's Lake. Pat and I have to go out there soon to do some waterfowl hunt, media day kind of type shots. So looking forward to that too. So I'm going to shut it down. But again, I just want to give a huge shout out to my uncle, my cousins, Martin, Pat, Matt, too many Matts. They're kind of my OGs. Obviously, we've got a lot of brands and companies that you'll start seeing more. Geared Up North is growing like crazy. Thanks to everyone for watching and supporting it. Pattrie's had some recent success, and I know Pat had a good time at the AGLOW conference, so I can't wait to keep seeing what doors and opportunities that opens. Treehouse, my company, is still going strong. Man, it's a lot of work, but life is good. Feeling blessed. And I hope everyone else, all my fellow hunters, have a good, successful hunt and can harvest their chosen deer. And we'll stay in touch. Peace.